Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today. As you can see from the slide, we're going to have a lot of fun in this presentation. Like most companies, Exabeam has hundreds of customers that, due to the sensitive nature of their work, can't always share stories publicly of how they're leveraging our platform and services to enhance their overall security posture. But if you're around in the 90s, and even if you weren't, you may have heard of the X Files. And if not, I'll lay it out for you. It's really simple. Two detectives running around investigating the unknown. And at Exabeam, that's what we do best. We uncover unknown threats that other providers would miss. We do this in a really unique way. So, wouldn't it be great if your SIM was able to provide higher fidelity alerts with more accurate detections and fewer false alerts, help you identify threats in low visibility areas like insider threat, compromised credential type use cases, as well as improve your ability to triage cases and alerts through more precise risk scoring and detection groupings? Well, what I'm describing is user and entity behavior analytics. And what this does is it allows you to take the power of correlation rules that are effective and powerful in your on prem SIM with Logarithm SIM or in your cloud SIM with NewScale SIM, but allow you to add behavioral context and business context to help you identify abnormal behavior. So, correlation rules are powerful, but we all know they can be cumbersome to tune and maintain. Layering in user and entity behavior analytics on top can really help you become more effective as a security team. So at Exabeam, this is where we come in. So our industry leading AI driven UEBA, it's called NewScale Analytics. It provides you with self-learning and self-tuning engine for automated detection. It's taking multi-layered risk scoring and behavioral and business context and helping you to automate entity grouping and management. Really, what that boils down to is it's allowing you to continually improve your team's detection, investigation, response, and remediation times. And if you're talking to your board, right, that means that your SOC team is contributing to EBITDA, cash flow. They're helping improve your security posture, which is really allowing you as a company to move forward in this digital age where risks are required, but they need to be done in a safe and secure fashion. Exabeam is one of the few vendors that combines SIM with a true UEBA. That's what makes us unique. We baseline normal behavior by tracking it over time, and then we use AI and machine learning to compare that against the baseline. So, this is a fundamentally different approach from correlation and logic trees. Now, this slide here is showing you a comparison chart, and right off the bat, you can see that it's taking less time and resources for you to get higher fidelity alerts faster than you would with SIM alone. So I want to be clear, I am not saying that SIM is bad. In fact, we at Exabeam have a Gartner Magic Quadrant leading SIM. Both can be offered on-prem and in the cloud, which allows you to take advantage of correlation rules and analytics, allowing you to have higher fidelity detections, catch more threats, deliver fewer false positives, and allow you to really future proof your threat detection, investigation, response as attack techniques continue to become more and more sophisticated. So, you've probably heard of the Lapsus attack. Lapsus is a high profile cyber extortion group known for targeting large organizations through identity based attacks, especially compromised credentials obtained through phishing, SIM swapping, dark web purchases, or social engineering. Once they get inside, they escalate their privileges, exfiltrate sensitive data, and usually leak or ransom the stolen information. Sometimes they even announce the breaches on social media simply for bragging rights. One of the key indicators of a Lapsus attack is their focus on insider access and poor protected credentials. So here's an example of how UEBA can help identify a Lapsus type attack before other threat detection methods. So traditionally, what alerts might get triggered for this attack? Mimikatz execution would trigger an alert from your EDR. You may have correlation rules set up to trigger every time a new account is created so that your SIM may fire an alert. And your DLP is likely to alert when outbound emails are being detected. So, how does detection change with those tools that use AI? A next gen DLP is likely to trigger an alert before outbound emails are detected. Um, a SASE could trigger once the attacker moves to O365 environment, and a next gen EDR tool could trigger an alert before the EDR even gets disabled. But a tool that uses UEBA would trigger during the first logon event. True story, an Exabeam customer detected a lapsus attack in action, managing to stop the attacker from exposing credentials and passwords, um, highlighting the unusual behavior that triggered the alerts were impossible travel from country A to country B, plus a virtual desktop infrastructure, an abnormal number of systems logged onto their user, anonymous Tor network in equals the login origin. So overall, 10 to 15 behavioral rules fired in Exabeam, letting the customer know there was a threat long before the other security solutions did. Now, it is 2025, so I am legally required to talk about AI, I'm pretty sure. The truth is that Exabeam has always been an AI company. We pioneered machine learning based detections over a decade ago, and now we've added generative AI on the front end, as well as agentic AI in the middle, so that our AI can help you take action, not just provide suggestions. So, Exabeam Nova is what we call it. It's our agentic AI. It behaves like a SOC analyst. It's triaging, grouping detections, assigning multi layer risk scores, and even auto generating cases. And we know from interviewing hundreds of customers that analysts spend most of their time triaging and writing reports. So Nova is designed to help reduce both of those. It helps you collect the evidence, write the investigation summaries, ultimately boosting your analyst's productivity by up to 80%. So the reason we put this deck together is because we've got quite a few examples of how UEBA can complement SIM. We can't always share the customer name, but why not tell the stories in an anonymous way? So here's one story I think you'll find really powerful. This story here is a global clothing brand, one you've definitely heard of. They let two of their software developers go. IT ran their standard offboarding process, forgot to revoke the GitHub access. So Exabeam caught that oversight. The UEBA flagged the behavioral shift. The user activity had dropped, but the GitHub access had spiked. This indicated that there was data theft going on. The dismissed employees were focused solely on exfiltration, something that a simple rule never would have caught since it was a system they were technically allowed to be in. Now, the gold standard of analyst and market validation, take it or leave it, is recognized as being a leader in the Gartner Magic Quadrant. And for the last year, stories like that, as well as innovation that's been driven by our customers, have helped us become a leader in the Gartner Magic Quadrant for SIM. Last year, we were one of only 5 vendors to land on the leader quadrant for SIM, and we're also only one of 2 vendors that have UEBA as defined by Gartner. The 2025 report isn't out yet, but with the new edition of Exabeam Nova, we're pushing the limits of AI cybersecurity, and we expect to do really well again. Thank you again for your time, and hopefully now you have a better understanding of the value of UEBA. Let's walk through a couple more scenarios since we have some time. In this scenario, during an Exabeam pilot deployment, an anomalous activity is detected and associated with the CEO's laptop. And while the CEO was presumably traveling, the investigation prompted by the Exabeam alert revealed an airline mechanic gained brief, unauthorized physical access to the device and used it. It exposed significant security gap for the company. The Exabeam difference is that Exabeam UEBA immediately flagged the anomalous web app activity tied to the CEO's identity, not just a predefined rules, right? So to be clear, it's not just that there was a login at a place that maybe wasn't normal, but the CEO travels a lot, so maybe that's not that weird. It was the fact that the laptop was logged into an abnormal location, but also accessing web and apps that typically the CEO doesn't do. So we're starting to combine what does normal look like and seeing what abnormal is faster than what you could do with correlation rules alone. It detected the mechanic's unauthorized usage based purely on behavioral deviation, revealing a critical security gap missed by the traditional SIM.